Hey peoples, do you like clay animation? Maybe you have an addiction to surreal abstract deviant art posts. Perhaps you're going through an external crisis. Well, if so, let me introduce you to a game called Hylics. Hylics describes itself as a recreational program with light JRPG elements, and has so many features such as advanced graphics, RPG battles, and overuse of random text generation. It's also the first and only game that's made by a human being who transcended humanity. That's why it's so, different. You play as a half-eaten lemon man named Wayne, and the whole game is about going on a spiritual quest to defeat the evil Moon King named Gibby. Along the way, you meet a bunch of interesting characters that all look like they were made by a 4-year-old on the good side of the spectrum, and you go to so many different exotic locations. Don't worry, this is just an RPG Maker game, so it'll be pretty easy. Fuck! Oh shit. Oh fuck. Oh my god. Fuck. Shit. Okay, maybe not so easy. One of the cool things about this game is you watch TVs to learn different abilities. To use the abilities in battle, you use something called will, which is basically mana. And instead of hit points, you have flesh. At the beginning of the game, you're pretty underpowered because most enemies come in threes, and the only armor you have is toilet paper, which does jack shit. But it's okay, you got a pistol. Oh. While in combat, instead of using things like medkits or healing potions, you use vegetables and hot dogs. And to recover mana, or will points, you use juice boxes. 80% juice, 20% box. What could go wrong? And to revive fallen comrades, you use warm burritos. There's a lot of cool spells in this game. My personal favorite is Star Shurikens. But to be completely honest with you, if you're just dying over and over, just use dynamite.
Eat dynamite, you fucking commies!
If you do keep dying, however, it's fine because there's really no penalty for it. The game just takes you to the afterlife. Also, as a little tip for you kiddos, if you die 3 times, you get access to this special part of the afterlife, which grants you possibly the second best weapon in the entire game. But if you want to kick some real ass, the main thing you should be worrying about is getting companions. The first easiest companion you can get is a guy over here in this city. The city's name is randomly generated for every playthrough, but you want to come over here to his little campsite. You can run past all the enemies pretty easy. You have to do a little quest for him before he'll follow you. For his case, he wants you to find a paper cup, because why the fuck not? Luckily for you, you just have to walk into this tent and dig a hole in the ground, and you can get a paper cup. Give him the paper cup, and he'll follow you. Also, there's a bunch of water coolers spread out throughout the entire game, and you need paper cups to drink the water from the water coolers. It increases your will points by 25, and at the end of the game, it can stack pretty high. You're supposed to go throughout the entire world and find the paper cups, and sometimes they're in very weird places. There's actually a bug in the game where you can just keep digging a hole where you got the first one, and you can get unlimited paper cups. The second companion you can find in his house that's located in Blue Play-Doh Land. He'll just be chilling on the couch. And for his quest, you have to get him magic gloves. Apparently, he keeps his magic gloves in his basement, along with a bunch of undead, demonic, flesh-eating skull monsters. Now, when you're running through here, don't touch the monsters, because they will kill you without consent. Now for the third and final companion, you gotta come over here to this island. You walk up to this giant shell, and then inside the shell, you have to take a test to determine whether or not you have Asperger's. Once you pass that, the door will open. Once you talk to him, you find out he's fucking insane, and he wants to fight you. After you kick his ass, he's pretty bummed out about it, so he decides to serve you for the rest of his entire existence. He also apparently has dominion over all the monstrous skull creatures that we encountered earlier, which at this point in the game is fucking worthless because you won't really ever go anywhere near them again. At this point in the game, you should be pretty overpowered. You got 3 companions, you have one of the best weapons, you have a lot of magic, but for some reason, if you just keep dying, you just suck at the game. You probably suck at games in general, but it's okay, it's fine. There's another mechanic that could probably help you out. Most enemies in the game drop an item called meat. You're probably thinking, what the fuck do I do with meat? Here's what you do with it. When you go to the afterlife, there's a machine there and it's a grinder. Put the meat in the grinder and it gives you more flesh. And if for some reason at this point, you just keep dying, even though you have a lot of shit that makes you overpowered, there's one more thing you can get. We've watched a lot of TVs in this game. We've learned a lot of spells, but there's one spell we haven't learned yet. It's the ultimate spell, the ultimate magic. There's this little island over here, and there's a TV. TV's not turned on. You need 3 items, 3 sage tokens. To get the sage tokens, you have to go talk to all these fucking weirdos. Once you do that, put the sage tokens in there, TV turns on, and voila, you learn the ultimate magic. The Legend of Melting, which is the most overpowered ability in the game. And also, you can have people buff you in the game to where you do an absurd amount of damage.
Oh my god!
I think we can all agree this game has a lot of wacky characters and wacky places, but one of the things that makes this game so unique is the soundtrack. Take a listen. Beautiful. One of my favorite parts of the game is an island with a little nightclub where you and your companions can play a show. After that, we just have one stop before the final boss. It's gonna be at this little island over here. There's a factory here, and for some reason, they're mistaking you for the new management. They won't let you go in the factory, however, until you talk to the boss. So you go in the office and have a word with these capitalist pigs. So what do? You beat the shit out of them and you take all their money, just like any good communist does. At this point in the game, not only are we overpowered, but we're fucking loaded with cash. So much cash, we can get all the dynamite, juice boxes, and hot dogs that you could ever want. Speaking of hot dogs, right before the final boss, there's a guy who has a hot dog stand. He also seems to sell a key to a fucking spaceship. Go in here, beat the shit out of these people, take the spaceship. Now we're gonna fly to the moon. Before we can get to the King of the Moon, we have to go through all of his fucking bitches. After that, we'll go into the throne room and we'll start the fight. Make sure you have a ton of hot dogs, use dynamite, have your companions buff you, use Legend of Melting, and then there you go. You did it. You stopped racism. You saved the world. So fly back home and you guys can celebrate. So Hylics, personally, I think this is a great game. Not only does it show how evil capitalism is, but together as comrades, if we come together as one, we can defeat any enemy. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video half as much as I enjoyed making it for you. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see y'all later.